I rest my case. I will not complain about anybody celebrating their birthday because there's a birthday. It's Aquarius season.
Oh God.
Oh God, we coming so far.
For the need, yeah.
46 days.
Oh God.
Yes. But what you told me, what you said the last time? One life
is too short. Yeah, you're right.
Life is too short.
You need to enjoy it, Martu. Yeah, even though we coming so far.
You only live once, huh?
Yes, you only live once, so hey.
That's true.
You know, someone asked me the other day, they're like, oh, you're always dancing, you're always smiling. I'm like, if I have issues and I decide to worry about them, will they be solved?
Exactly.
Why should I stress about something that I can't do anything about? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Yep. So just enjoy your life, my dear. And do you.
We'll talk it when we get there.
Right, with our Lord Jesus.
I see so many people who are not able to like get out of their beds, who are not able to walk, who, you know, we're just so many problems. And if God allows me to live another year, to see another year, who am I not to celebrate his blessings?
Right.
Celebrate it the best way you know how.
Yeah. Right. I like that excuse. I like that excuse. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, you know, we're celebrating my birthday, of course, it's February 1st. That's when the celebration starts. So
I am on your birthday.
Who else? Who else
that person is so born. Actually, he's actually a great father.
You see?
He's in America. I think he's in Liberia now.
Yeah, well, you should call the guy up. We're looking for great fathers.
He's the father of 3 girls.
Oh, and male girl dad. Oh,
okay.
Told him he got to come
daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we got to start celebrating our women and man. Yeah, we got some good ones.
The good ones.
Yeah, we got some good ones.
Happy birthday to you, Winnie. I saw that you celebrated. Happy birthday, honey.
Who else is Aquarius? Who else?
Winnie Woolacoli.
Oh,
Winnie had her birthday.
Aquarius. Yes, my fellow Aqua sister.
I mean, and she went all out. Her hubby, and I mean, he did it. Oh wow! You know, she kept taping, and there were flowers, rose petals everywhere. He did the damn thing. Aww. He did it. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You know, Aquarius women are just like the best. You know, we're just like it's the best.
Whatever.
What else to say?
Us Virgos.
Monbedo is here. Museum. Yes, girl. I'm in a museum. I am celebrating Black women.
They are like they're not hot. They're cold. Jeez.
Yeah, meal. I'm cold. I'm just what the hell ever.
My mom. I mean,
they can wake up on that day. I wake up.
Who y'all talking about? Aquarius?
Virgos.
Oh, Virgos. Wow. Yeah. Yo,
what?
That one like Virgo can say sometime.
Yeah, that's very sometime. Very quick.
The real word for that, Seth?
What?
What is the real word for it?
What do you mean?
Flip-flop.
Sometime.
We're moody. We're very moody people.
But you know, it's funny.
But even the sometime, I think it's actually a word, but
and tell you that one.
No, but you know, it's funny. Like, I mean, like Robena, I know Robena. She really isn't sometime. Yeah. I always found Aquarius to be very moody. The Aquarius that I know, excuse me, they're very moody. 1 minute you see us, you think we're like people person, and then the next minute we don't even want to be bothered. And I know several people like that. A lot of people tell me, they say, oh, you're such a people person. I'm really not a people person. Really not. But
Kyle's like that. Kyle, oh God. Yeah.
I find us to be a little like flip.
No, Kyle flips a lot. Yeah. Oh God. But I said, then was Robena, you born yourself too. Sometimes to say that,
Yeah, maybe you're Virgo, you're like, I think Virgos, they have a little bit of every sign in one. Yeah.
Now we made of our own.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
Yeah, so the week, oh man, the week was just crazy. I think the week just kind of started off very sad in Liberia.
Yeah.
We'll probably spend a buck of our time the first hour talking about what happened with this the church incident that was so tragedy that over 30 persons actually got killed. And then during the second hour, we will kind of lighten it up a little, and we'll talk about dating in the, I guess, 2022. What is
just started?
Yeah, well, 2021, 2022, what is it like to date if you're single, if you're separated, if you're divorced? What is the dating scene? What has it been like within the last maybe year or two? And for those who are in relationships, can they provide some tips on dating? There was a couple of questions that
legally loving.
Yeah, that legally loving. We'll put titles to all the type of loving.
Loving in person and online.
Yeah, we'll put titles to all the type of loving.
Virtual dating.
Virtual dating, all of that is acceptable, especially in the content of our Liberian community, the Liberian African community. Because we know you're American, like, what's the big deal? Online dating, a big yeah. We got problems. So we'll talk about that in our second hour. But the first hour, and before I even get started, please don't forget to follow the page, share the video. Again, we've been getting some really good feedback that people are actually seeing the show after we're off. We would love for you to join us live, so we can make it a little bit more interactive, hear what you have to say. So, like the page, follow the actual page, because I come in, cut down on my friendliness.
Why is only one showing on Facebook?
Maria, well, there we go. Sorry, our producer too. Everybody's on.
Let me, okay. Hey, it's better now.
Hey, no, sorry, I wrong you. I wrong you.
She wants her to be by herself today.
No,
Hi, cousin Karen. Hi, Zwada. Hi, Abby.
My big brother, Abby.
Hello.
Hi, Abby. Hello, Mr. Kitty. Hi, how you doing? You all right?
We're going to talk about everybody long hair.
What is the online dating? Yeah, 1 year for you. you especially we want the advice that you have to give.
Long distance relationship.
Long distance.
That's the original name.
Oh gosh. So yeah, but to get started, with our hot topics in the news, I think there was just one story that sort of dominated the news scene this week, and it was the stampede at the church. What is it, Grace? Oh God, I thought I wrote it down.
No, it was
the Hope of Grace. Well, this church had let me explain. The church had a crusade, and hundreds of people went to this crusade. And the story that we got was that there was some Zocos, and Zocos are the street guys. Disenfranchised, because they're coming to us with Zoco Shimina. This
I think they call them
technically you would say bandits at this point.
Oh
yeah, all of that, yeah. But
guys,
they actually attacked. They came to the crusade to rob, and people started to run. And of course, people just kind of step over people. Of course, the media was initially reporting 29 persons, but apparently it's more than that, right? Because there were some people who were critical, they were in critical condition. There were some people missing. I think at the time the story was printed, they didn't have an accurate count of how many, but we know it's at least at the minimum 30 persons that died. And one of our friends actually shared
11 kids.
11 children. Oh, wow. One of her students, you know, a picture of the cutest little boy who was actually at the event, and, you know, he died. So first we want to send our condolences to all of the family that this happened to. And then of course, you know, it kind of opened up the conversation about poor governance, meaning, you know, there's no system put in place to ensure safety, you know, from these type of gatherings. And then it also opened up a conversation about religious intolerance in this case, because I mean, people are just going back and forth, like just Christian cussing Muslim, Muslim cussing Christian, atheist cussing Christian, everybody. And people were, you know, just pretty much saying that we need to, there were some people saying we need to just sort of regulate this whole religious thing in Liberia. It's sort of gotten out of hand. The poor people have been exploited. And then there were, you know, we have our good friends, our family who are also atheists, no disrespect, who are just like that, you know, just get rid of it, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted us to kind of just talk about both. And I know the first thing is just the basic governance of it, you know, putting measures in place, because then the question becomes who's held responsible for this. So, you know, of course, Miss Klade, this is her area when it comes to environmental safety standards. What is your take on this?
A lot of things. I mean, I honestly, I'm waiting to see what happens if they have. Somebody said from Spoon TV that they have reported they arrested 8 persons, and I'm waiting to see how that report will go. When it comes to the same way you have public nuisance, you can also have public disorder, and religious gatherings are of no exception to following the rule of law. Sometimes people say that we don't have a lot of laws in Liberia, and that's not true. They may not be updated, but we do have a lot of laws on the books. And all we need for people to do is to read them. Even if you can't read them, just make them accessible to the public. Let people know where they can find it, and they themselves will adhere to it. If you're having a public event, there are a lot of things to be concerned about. Number one, the location. How accessible is the location for the people that you are catering to? Mind you, at those kind of places, you have sick, fragile people going to get healing. That's the first thing you have to be concerned of. How will they easily get in and get out? What is the time of the event? Then you have to look at the community in which you are using. Everybody knows Newtown sometimes, depending on the part of Newtown, can be bad. Now with the security situation in the whole country, we had issues in Douala a few weeks ago. You obviously know that it's on a security line. So that should have been considered by the organizers of the crusade. Then you look at lighting. Then you look at just general safety of the people coming in and how long you intend for them to be there for. Some of the churches, they will ask for volunteers. People will put their name down as team members, you know, to help with the ushery and the security, not only to help people get to sit down, but as an usher, you also serve as a security, because it's easy. You are standing up, you are looking around, you are monitoring where spaces are, you know the kind of people that are coming in. So you can help assess the situation. I understand that people actually walked into the crusade with cutlasses. Cutlass is not something that you can easily hide. Mm-hmm. So if you even had, if you did not have proper security person, if you even had people that were ushers, you will see that someone is coming in with a weapon. I understand that those guys, they took their own time, they walked straight through the crowd and situated themselves in different positions, looking at who all were on phone, who all were making calls, who all had valuables, who all were giving offerings or sowing seeds. They were there for a little bit before they decided the wrong course. So if you had security, those would have been avoided, and that is the responsibility of the organizing body, which is the church. I'm just really, really surprised nobody is in jail, nobody has been questioned. Everybody is saying just leave it to God. Sooner or later, we got elections, we will have electoral gatherings, what we call it, the attire shop gatherings, and these things will happen, and nothing else will come from out of it. Because in setting the rule of law, you deal with the first problem and make sure that you solve it so that it does not happen again. We have the MCC, we have the township commissioner of Nuclear Town. Those were all the people that were responsible to give permits or at least know that there is something happening on D12. Usually D12 is not free. When you have an event there, you have to inform the school and different authorities. There is a procedure for you to use the pitch, because my grandma's house is right on the field. So I practically grew up in that area during the war.
Yeah. And
someone is saying, do you put security out? Yes, you should put security out when you are having party. As long as you have invited people to gather somewhere, at your house, at a club, at a church, whatever it is, as long as you have invited people to gather somewhere, it is your responsibility to ensure that they stay safe.
Yeah,
it
I
is
think
your responsibility.
forget that word, responsibility.
It's yours.
Yeah, most places they have a limit on how many people can be in a certain space. For this very same reason. So when people need to leave, they're not stumping all over everybody. So I think that's what Klade is trying to say. You have these laws on the book, but nobody is enforcing it. That when you have a space that probably meant to fit 50 persons, but you now juke up about 1,000 persons within that space. It's hard for them to get away if in the event of emergency. Nobody is not saying that, these things doesn't happen. It won't stop the Zogo them from running and trying to rob. But more than likely, if somebody is trying to get in, because you have enough room to move around, because you have identified the exit for, the emergency exit for people to run, because you've done all of that, more than likely, it will either prevent a lot of death from happening, or it will even prevent people from getting hurt. But
okay, so ladies, may I come in?
Was fenced. So the pitch is actually in a fence now. There's a big gate and there's a small gate right in front of my grandma's house. So they have, I think, 2 exits, and the rest of the side is towards the beach. There's a Palava hut, and then the rest of the campus to the beach.
Klade,
I don't even know which part. Yeah.
I have a question. Hold the bricks down a little bit, because there's a lot of information, and there are questions that I have here. Number one, are you saying that this, whatever happened, was actually premeditated? They thought about doing it, and they set themselves up to do, these are Zoko's disenfranchised.
That's Zoco, man. I was just singing the team for some of my American or my Caribbean friends.
So are you saying
that was what I got from,
because what I read and what I understood from a source, that they had, and there's a lot of blame to go around. I do not, the entire situation was unfortunate. People who are in the authority, who are in leadership positions, people who are supposed to protect people, did not do their job. I understand there are city ordinances that you're supposed to follow. You're supposed to get a permit before you have a big event. You're supposed to make sure that you have your security lined up to be able to take care of situations like these. Also inspect people as they come in. But I understood that it was over and the people were leaving regardless. they were leaving, and these people were not from the area, and they ended up running back inside. This is what I understood. But notwithstanding, if these people went in, so you're saying here that these people planned this thing and they went in with cutlasses and stuff to harm these people? It's a question.
There are, yes. Stories from those that were in attendance and those that had, proper ears. That's the problem with journalism in Liberia. Nobody will go to the community and actually get the information. They will be waiting to hear from Facebook. We got some stupid, well, sorry. It's annoying, honestly. These people, some of them were part of the crusade. They are always the ones that sing the song the loudest. They are always the one that bring the Holy Ghost fire when there's program. They will be clapping and dancing like nobody business. So they were already there. They had already marked. They had targeted people that they wanted. So if they divided themselves into a group or whatever their plan was, it was orchestrated with a purpose. Now the thing is, as an organizer, if these people were in, because this area is enclosed, I understand. The last time,
they said that the entrance you enter and that's where you're gonna leave. I even saw on the
it's
picture
a gate.
There was
it's
a little
a few, but it's fenced. So there's one pedestrian gate on the left, and then there's the main gate, or proper size gate that's right behind Redemption, that facing the road. Between Redemption and the place is probably like 100 feet or so. So if everybody is going that way and you think there's a problem, that's why you have to make sure that you have plans in place when you're asking people to leave their homes. There were sick people there. There were older people that did not even have strength to do different things.
And there should have been a time.
They came to pray to God for God to cure them.
Yeah, they should have been leaving by 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock when there's daylight.
This was a night event, I understand.
Like it's usually
it started in the morning. Didn't it start in the morning?
The crusade?
Crusade, what time did it start?
In the morning.
It was evening.
They church can disturb us in the evening.
Crusades will usually start around 3 and run up.
And Klade, you're familiar with the area? Do they have lights? Did they have lights?
The field, no. Okay, so the place is in fence.
Yes, I saw the fence.
My grandma's house is just outside the fence. It is not taller than the fence. So even if they got light around the house, it will not show there. The crusade, from the chairs and the photos I saw, they were not even, usually sometimes they will put the poles up and put the removable lights just to create, some. There was none. There was no light. So whatever light they were using was the light that God provided for all of us to use. So that was not even.
Yeah, this is the responsibility.
If it was a day stuff that they did not need the adequate lighting, you could say, okay, that can pass. But when the stuff happened, it was not day. People were not seeing clearly to move about.
Yeah.
And then the children.
Those events in the day, you still provide light because you need to have your sound system and all those things connected.
So they had
light, and they still have spotlight for the preacher or whoever is there to, for people to be able to see him from afar.
Yeah, but I think, even with light or no light, I think the problem is
it was poorly planned. It wasn't planned.
In an area. And we anytime I go out, I'm always looking for the exit.
I'm
always looking for the nearest exit.
Yeah, we always look for exit because we're like, how are we gonna get out of here?
You have a room that's built, or you have a space that built for 50 persons. You can have light, you can have sunshine in there. If you put 1,000 persons within that space and they start that's something that sounds threatening to them, they're going to run. And then you have one exit, people will die. Yeah. And for me, that's my problem. you know, when we start talking about one zoning, the fact that there are certain places you're not supposed to be hollering and clapping, no matter who you're praying to.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
No, but that has been a
huge
serious
problem.
because
let me tell you,
that's very touchy.
Another story for another day. You know,
they don't like to hear the word.
The positions of the churches or the modern.
You're an enemy of the state if you do that. If you talk about where they're not supposed to be billing.
At the end of the day, in Liberia, so far that I know, when you're having a public event, there are a few places that you get permits from. You get permits from the city hall. You get permits from the city hall for the event. They have to approve if the event is fit for public exposure. You get permit from the Ministry of Information if you want to advertise it on radio, or if you want to put up banners and all that. They have to vet the information that you put it on your banner to ensure that it is safe for the public. They have permit from the Ministry of Justice, the Public Safety Division, that basically, you know, try to rule out any security threat, fire incidences, and all that. They're all there. All of them are there.
But they're not enforced.
They are not enforced. And I'm really praying for somebody to sue the church and the government.
We'll get to that part there for the
way forward. I want them to sue because people lost their lives.
Yeah.
It's not something that you talk about one day. Somebody was saying on Facebook, oh, you were talking about, hey, I will just let it be. This is how you do not let it be. Make sure that it is not repeated. In my profession, when we talk about safety, if there is an accident and we do the accident investigation, the reason is we want to know where the faults were so that we can correct those faults so that that particular accident does not happen again.
Yeah.
And this
let
is
something happen.
Looking forward for them to do. Yes. Yeah. People complain that all the families are poor. People will give them money and they will shut up. Can you imagine sitting at your house and your child tell you, oh, mama, they play, they having church on a fee, you are going, come back. And your child come home. Can you imagine that pain?
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
You know,
unfortunate.
Unfortunately,
people should be angry.
Yeah, no, but people
and the people in position needs to do something about it. They need to do something. And that's what they're saying.
Playing basketball, and there's no statements from the church or
anything. They put out a statement, right?
They put out a statement.
Yeah. It says sorry, and we'll continue to pray. The government also put out a statement and said we should pray.
And you give it 3 days. What's wrong with us?
So
what will 3 days do?
So my pray.
You mourn for people for 3 days. That 3 days, you should put all hands on deck to
nothing about the measurements that we're going to put in place that will stop this. This is what
out of all those people there with all that happening that nobody recognized none of those boys. Because they are
we see that there's a problem here, and this is what we're going to do. This is we have a problem here. They will never,
So now here's the question. So who is responsible? We say, oh, you know, they should have gotten the permit, they should have done this, they should have done that. I know the police were questioning the pastor of the church. And I remember someone said, but why they only focus on the pastor? I'm like, you forgive me, but I'm like, the pastor is the only person I can pay.
Yes.
Yeah, nobody else
will be able to pay. Institution is the one responsible.
Yeah, but my problem is he's not the only person responsible.
No, he's not.
There's enough blame to go around. They're focused on the pastor because the pastor is the only person who can put together a packet. They're not focused on the Zocos or the disenfranchised boys. They're not focused on the fact that all of the agencies, the government agencies that you listed, they should have been involved some kind of way. They're not focused on those agencies. They're focused on the church, on the pastor. And for me, the only reason you will focus on one person, after all of us now look at this, some of us, you even got to be an expert in this field. You're like, you know what? Plenty of people drop the ball. Yeah, question the pastor, deal with the pastor. However, there are a lot
of the institutions too
that
didn't do their job. Yeah.
You remember the boys were talking about the other incidents that's happened, and after 3 days of praying, we've forgotten about it. the Muslim children in that school that got burned. And we finished with it. We pray. They bury the children.
And that's what happens all the time.
Yeah.
It is really wrong. It's so wrong. There's no way to explain how wrong it is.
And then we have the problems with the disenfranchised youth.
There are answers.
Yeah, those youth, those are drug dealers.
And then you should mourn for them. Mourning for them does not solve the problem. We have elections by July this year. We're going to have small gatherings all over the place.
And so they will go there and go to serve the people
talking about elections. You're going to have those people among you stabbing people. Even there is a girl from Cottington. I understand. Komasa Jala. She's a nurse. She graduated from Cottington. Her father was sick and she was trying to carry money, I think, to the hospital to him. And these boys watched her from Gardnersville Junction to Gardnersville Supermarket. When she got off the keke, they beat her. They beat her so bad she's still struggling to talk.
Yeah, it was
that would be the next problem.
On a Sunday.
Yeah,
that would be the next problem.
Bystanders were just there looking because nobody wanted to be involved.
Yeah, that would be the next problem.
That's the scary part of it, because you could be walking on the street and somebody will stab you and kill you and nothing comes
out of it. Exactly.
That's what
we're doing nothing about it. But we said it, that the mental issues in that country is I don't understand. And we put absolutely no focus on it because that's going to be our next problem.
How are we going to
take care of that?
Well,
it's a huge problem, and it's not even on the surface.
You have to understand that it is a problem to be able to fix it. And as long as we don't recognize, if the authority does not recognize it as a problem, then it will not get fixed. Dear police and our government, okay, you accountability. A lot of times it's what deters people from going back and doing the same thing over and over. You have to hold people accountable. I think I sent you guys an article regarding the police because, you know, the first excuse is that they don't have the money for it. They don't have the money for it. And sometimes when you're looking at what they're asking for, the money that they're asking for, it's even hard for you to try to lobby for them. You know, the man said that apparently our internet at the police station has been turned off. So we have no connection to Interpol, which is the International Community Police system. I laughing, but I mean, I was just like, the internet, you're not able to pay for the internet. The internet, so yeah, you're not able to pay, even if you say, you know what, that 2 computers that would deal with in the other main office will get the $150.
Those are services that people get for free in other countries. You make arrangements.
It needs to be free in that.
As part of instead of sucking up money from the companies, you can tell the company, say, look, we need service 247 for this particular places, and they will provide it, and you can adjust the taxes accordingly.
Oh no, they won't do it.
You don't have to take money for stuff that you know you will not do later on. Nobody can come from heaven to come preach that one again to people. How will you have a police? The police.
The whole police station. The man said they need money. They need money for the internet. Yeah. First of all, yeah,
he don't even have internet.
He talk about gas. He talk about gas and fixing the car. You know that the biggest thing we never have money for gas in the car.
No, but all did it already up and down.
But it gets better. It gets better. You know the depots they have around the country. I mean, around the city. I shouldn't even say the country.
Yeah.
The city. That they cannot. They are renting most of it. Yeah. And they want on Center Street. The landlord wants their booth back. They want their thing back. So they're about to evict the police from in the middle of Center Street.
Oh, they don't even in their police station there, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and I'm reading now. I'm like, y'all can really make it hard for people to lobby for y'all. So
the people property, why would
this is not good. That's not good at all. That's just it's horrible to hear. And I mean, it looks very bad because nobody's gonna go anywhere where you're gonna have these disenfranchised youth coming to come argue because now the thing will start from the airport when you land until you get to where you're going. This is very, very serious and it's very, very scary.
This is why when people say the country is unsafe, this is some of the reasons. They're not necessarily talking about riots and war. They're talking about the pleasure of
the hunger of individuals.
Yeah, the fact that, and if something happened to me, that nothing will come out of it.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
So those are all part of it. Yeah, but man, I read that thing. I was just
somebody said the budget for gas for the police is 300,000 plus.
We believe you because we know that your era.
And still, they never have gas. So what happened?
They never have gas. Again, like you said, serious people will be able to negotiate. That means all the government agencies are working together. You talk to the LRA, you talk to who else need to know? The LRA, that can waive the taxes, right? You sit down and you say, look, if we're asking
the investment commission,
do they even know that it's supposed to be
exactly? And so yeah, you said if we're asking these companies to give us XYZ, maybe it's part of the CSR, whatever, you should be able to give them a tax break. You should be able to waive this. You should be able to do this. That's equivalent to what we're asking for. Yeah.
Yes.
But mama,
they're not the disconnect.
Right there. Sarah Leone has so much incentive for businesses.
We let businesses in Liberia. We don't like them.
You have to be able to meet in the middle as government to get your necessities.
Like businesses.
Do they even know they're supposed to be talking to each other? Do they even know they're supposed to be talking to each other?
No.
Do they even know that?
No.
Do they know
Some
that?
agencies do, but most don't. They do not. So LRA is like, you know, actually I do like the LRA. Let me not talk about I do like them. Yeah, they're trying. They're trying. But
we
like
don't have a lot of enclosed event centers, and even in the Western world where they have enclosed centers, there's still strict policies for security because anything happens at any time. That's why you always take prevention.
Yeah. So
we don't have enclosed places. So the little places that we have, if people are about to have events, just get a list of them. That's all you need to do for MCC. If somebody can say, oh, we're having our crusade on the 4th of February to so football fee. You just give the list to them. This
but
is
then let your people follow up with it.
Have you provided security? How many places do you
expect? Why are you talking like that? You don't understand the church, the whole politics and the whole church thing that they're not supposed to bother the church once you say church.
And they're tax free.
Yeah. So all of that, they're not going to bother them. That's not the first time we've seen these crusades. That's not the first time we've seen these churches packed at 2 a.m. and they got to speak us outside. We've seen it many times when COVID happened, as they were shutting everything down. Who are making the loudest noise? Out of the churches. They said no. Yeah, they won't close. I mean, so we know there's the politics behind it as well. But you mentioned something initially when we're talking about accountability and who's responsible and what happens next. Sue. And we mentioned this, you know, a class action lawsuit. I don't understand why we scared to sue. Sue.
But they don't have the money to sue, don't you think so?
So? You know what? These type of cases.
You don't need money to sue.
Yes. Because the lawyers know. But the thing is, you need
the lawyers in Liberia. That's part of the problem.
But the lawyers, they even get hot. Which kind of lawyer?
They're looking for exactly. They want something.
The lawyer then play the pocket there. Yeah.
You need lawyers that actually are working within the law because they feel that it's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
You need lawyers who will be able to work day and night to make sure that justice is served. Those kind of lawyers don't come by easy because everybody's hungry.
Yes.
Everybody's hungry from the district, the county attorneys. Everybody is hungry.
Yeah.
Nobody is working because they want.
I think this would be a good case for people to step up and take. I think this would be a very good case because somebody actually will show.
If somebody wants to step up and say, you know what, this has to stop, because you know these type of class action lawsuit, it sort of set the stage for future events that may or may not happen. So if somebody step up and you say, you know what, because they will need money. They will need money some kind of way. I believe that the public will be willing to raise money.
That's right. You're going where I want to go.
The
That's
public
right.
will be willing to raise money.
Yes.
But like you said, Klade, you need a
dedicated
lawyer
lawyers.
who
Yes.
is passionate, who is
Yes.
honest.
Lawyer will come and tell you somebody getting and 350, so he won't be bothered again. Then you sell all your education, you sell your whole life, your name, for somebody's pocket change. Where in other countries, people take hard cases because they know when they win that case, the clientele that's coming after them to represent them is.
And then it sets the precedent for people who will come after to do these things.
Exactly.
That's just what this is. It's like huge. This is huge. And this could change things in the country because of that. That could happen. But then we also have to deal with it. We also have to deal with the mentally ill folks. Well, I mean, that's another part of the story that's just there. Because if you have criminals who are mixed up, because in my mind, I'm thinking you have criminals who mix up and sometimes leave it on these people and say, oh yeah, they did it, so it's washed away. Because if you're telling me people were going in there with weapons and nobody,
they didn't say knife, they said cutlasses.
Yeah, but I see that weapon people. So if people are going in there with that, so they knew exactly what they were doing. So it's not just let's sweep it under the rug about this, the logos and so forth. We have a huge problem here. That's suing, not just part of suing. We have a huge look. This thing could get worse, and this thing could become a habit, and this thing would drive most of us out of the country because we cannot handle it. That's what's going to happen.
Let me tell you about genocide and massacre. That's what I thought about when this happened. That was my mind. You remember the June 7 protests that were happening? Well, 2 years ago, right? The protesting against the government opposition. I ran into my uncle in the grocery store. And it must have been maybe like 2 days or 3 days before the protest. And he was kind of shocked. Uncle Farmer, he said, "What are you still doing here?" And I'm like, I was shocked too. I'm like, "What do you mean why I'm still doing here?" Yeah. He said, "You haven't left?" I said, "No, why would I leave?" He said, "There's protest that's happening." So of course, I told Uncle Farmer, and if you knew my uncle is like somebody who he would tell you, "Oh, I'm a Morovia boys and nothing scared. We were here for the war. We did this. He's tough." And so when he started to tell me, I'm like, nothing will happen. The worst that might happen, people will throw rocks, tear gas, but nothing will really happen June 7th. And he said, "That's not what I'm talking about." He said, "These are the type of events that create the situation for a genocide or a massacre." He said there are plenty of people walking around right now who may not have anything to do with this protest, but they just see an opportunity to rob, to kill a certain group of people. He said genocide usually happens for a very short time, and it happened for a specific group of people. So that was his concern. And, when this happened, my mind ran to that. I'm like, these boys will get away with this because nothing will happen. They might grab one or two just for the public's sake, but there will be many more gatherings, outside gatherings, especially religious gatherings. The next one may not be it might not be a Christian one. It might be a Muslim one. Because it almost like when somebody gets away with a major crime, they grow wings to try something.
Yeah.
Start small, they grow wings. Let's say you can steal, you can cheat, you can steal, you can kill. They grow wings and they get bigger. So, when we talk about the government providing protection, these are some of your responsibilities. And we know that there are constraints within, the system. We understand that. But I think sometimes people just want to see you trying. People want to see you, solving one case. Don't even let me get started when it comes to sexual abuse on children, especially girls. We want to see you solving something that will maybe give us the strength to want to also lobby for you to the legislature. Say, hey, look, you need to increase these people budget. They're doing X, Y, Z. You want the public on your side. When we get in trouble, usually your instinct is to contact the police or to call the police. In Liberia, that's not the case. I got one person that when I get in trouble, I call I tend to look out for him. He's not police, but I look out for him, or I start calling my big brother then like AB. You know,
Maybe I got
but AB not security man,
No, he's not security.
Because we don't feel confidence in the security sector. We don't call you. So I mean, you know, the police or the MCC or I was throwing in public works in there because I thought they were responsible for something. The MOJ, the Ministry of Justice, all of these people need to be held accountable. And the one way to do that is a class action lawsuit against the government. And you put every last one of them inside. The young guy that sued the government regarding the citizenship, he and went to the Supreme Court and he won his case.
Yes.
Even though we're trying to ignore it and still trying to interpret what the Supreme Court said, but he stuck with it and he won his case. And he didn't just, when he sued the government, he listed the agencies in there that were responsible for it. It wasn't all the agency, but he was very specific with the different agencies that he had to go through, that he interacted with. So, you know, yes, again, a lot of these people, they are poor. They probably don't know that they can sue the government. They're probably scared that they can sue the government. But I say to our young lawyers who are out there, I see one on here, Mombero, to our young lawyers out there who are actually passionate about it.
Yeah, my best friend is a lawyer.
The reason why I don't want to keep calling Mombero name, because I know Mombero is, you know, she's someone who works a lot with sexual abuse victims. So she has an area she's working in that sector. But we need more young lawyers. And I'm saying young because you're fresh, you just get into the system. You're not like somebody,
you're not contaminated.
Yeah, you're not contaminated yet. So maybe talk to your friends and maybe somebody else can take on this case. You want to sue the government and let's sue LEC.
Oh, I see they've been going up on it lately. Wow.
I'm telling y'all, class action
a
consumer, we need to sue LEC.
You know, Matu, you said something, and I was thinking about how on Sundays the people go to the beach just to hang out, you know.
But that's how it started happening. Because
it's open, right?
It used to be on Bernard's Beach before. Bernard's Beach opposite the Lone Star. They cut into school there.
Behind the CDC headquarters.
Behind CDC headquarters. It used to be very bad. Nobody stayed on the beach when it gets dark because people were robbed.
Yeah.
A lot of bad things used to happen there. It has not changed. It has just
they will start moving into those areas. It has
quieted down because people, you know, people have found different places to go.
Yeah, so but they will still go there. They will still go there. I heard of an incident. We need to
start working on getting the rehabilitation centers.
Exactly. Because we have to take care of the sore. We have to take care of the sore. We can't just
rehabilitation centers.
Yes.
These guys giving them money will not do anything.
No, it's not going to do it.
In drugs
they need to go through
names.
Yes.
They are cooked in drugs that don't have names. They have mixed so many chemicals together. You have no idea where the mindsets are.
Yes.
You need to get them off the street. It needs to be a collective effort. Rehabilitate. Look at Catherine Mills. If that place is so massive, when I was doing psychiatric nursing, we had to tour all the different places and understand how, you know, mental health was handled before the war and all that. That's a big space. There's space still for government.
Yeah.
What's wrong with all these NGOs coming in to do something to tell them, say, okay, let's do a public, you know, private partnership, and you get this place running. This place
because that's a major problem.
Persons. This place can, you know, there's a school, there's rehab center, there's a hospital, there's so much, there's a big space. Why are we not looking at that?
You know,
you don't even have counselors.
Because it's not affecting them. Nobody's interested in what's
everybody.
No, I'm saying that it is not. The reason why it's not so important is because it's not happening to people need to happen to, and that's life. But this is the seriousness is there, and this is what they need to be engaging right now. Instead of taking the people and say arresting them to do what with them. The people who
arrest, even if you arrest.
Then you put them into an institution.
When you carry people, when you arrest them, it's called a correctional facility. That's where you carry people when you
Not a rehabilitation center. That's what it needs
facility.
to be.
And we even got our own.
Yes, when you have investigated and found out the cause of the problem or probable causes of the problem,
Right.
you use that to put them into a correction. That's what we need. Dr. Buddy is asking, what's the basis of suing the government? Thank you for joining us. We're suing the government for a lot of reasons. It's the responsibility of the government to ensure that the citizens are safe. The government has agencies and responsible bodies that caters to public safety.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Justice caters to public safety that has to do with safety and security, ammunitions, arms, fire hazards, those stuff. The Monrovia City Council, City Hall, it caters to the responsibility of city ordinance, how to be civilized in our community, how not to create nuisance. They are responsible to give permits to organizers for public events.
Yeah.
So that's why we are saying they should sue the government, because the public, Monrovia City, the city hall did not do their work. The Justice Ministry did not do their work. Before you come down to all the other things, because by right with these events, you need security, you need police. Then you talk about the local governance structure in New Cruton. You have the how do you call them, commissioners, right?
Commissioners, yeah.
The commissioners, they are also responsible for the safety. It was not a private event. Even if it is a private event and you are having a mass gathering.
So how did that?
You have a mass gathering. It's not a private event, it's a public event because it's a crusade.
It's a so did they have authority? Did they have authority to use this place?
It was not, but yes, they requested to use the D12 fee from the school. So it's a public event. You're telling people that it does not have to be organized by GOL.
But let me explain this.
In Liberia, when you do any event that gathers people, it's the responsibility of the organizer and the government of that country to ensure that the people are safe. That's on books.
Got that.
So the government does not have to organize. The government does not organize football game. But if anything happens at the sport commission, the stadium,
they're going to be held liable.
Responsible because the government puts in law and order so that people will leave their houses and go back home safe.
Yes.
Yeah. And the reason why, again, I keep going back to this one example. Government have laws that has a specific number of capacity for an area. That's what the government will do. And if you do not, it doesn't have to be organized by the government. You have a building, for instance.
Yeah, this is my own professional. I know you got your own profession, but this is my professional. So
yeah, you have an area. The area does not allow 1,000 persons. Okay, when you shut, that's why government usually shut down these type of events if you have more than the occupancy standards. That's why they shut it down, because they don't want to be held responsible, so they do their parts. That's what's on our book. We can't continue to say, and we're not saying just the government you hold responsible.
Well, he was talking, he in UK, if you have a party at your house, your private event, and you start causing noise and somebody call the council don't shut it down.
Yeah, or if the council decide they're not showing, no way. Or if the council decide they're not showing up to shut it down. If there's something happening, and something happened to somebody,
you live in right in UK, you know the law. So I don't even know where your point of contention is coming from.
I mean, it's like
the government is responsible to.
We don't hold our government
accountable for anything. Them to do. Let them do their duties. They need to do their duties. You cannot do everything, but the minimal is to make sure that you have the laws out there for people to see them. And people, even if people don't practice everything that you have on the books, the fact that they know that the books are available and they can have access to it, they will in practice start to do the right thing.
It is a duty to keep people safe.
You will be responsible in whoever you call. If the police shows up and say, you know what, we got nothing to do with this, they will be held responsible for it. Because number one, they came,
this is what's to tear it up.
Was being broken and it didn't stop it. So they will be held responsible. That's why people file class action lawsuit. They don't file class action lawsuit against pharmaceutical companies and because they don't want injected them with a with a medicine. They file it because they said, you know what, you knew this medicine was not good enough, but yet you still left it on the market. That's why you hold people responsible. You hold the government responsible. So the next group that decide they're going to hold a big event in a space that only has one exit, the government will be.
They will know they will pay up.
Yes, they will be more proactive to say, we're shutting this thing down.
More proactive, right.
Then after the fact now, you still have the government laddy-gagging and telling us to pray. Our government is telling us to pray. They're not telling us to say, you know what, we have laws in place. Some of the people not following it. Yeah, the laws, we're going to do more. We're going to sensitize the public more on the laws, the rules. And we're not doing any of that. We're saying we should pray.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Wow. You can't sue government? Who can't sue government? Okay, America. Yeah. We might go pick up some of the cases right now.
At the end of the day, all we are asking here,
the federal case recently, Robena, that went to the Supreme Court about the shots. Yeah, we can sue government. I beg you, yeah. Government can get sued.
Yes.
And the entity
should be sued.
Yeah.
Let him go to hearing session.
They should be sued. At the end of the day, we do not have everything we want in Liberia, but the least we can do for a country that is trying to develop is to create a secure society. If we can't create a secure society, nothing else will work. We will not have light, we will not have water, we will not have education, we will not have medicines, as we don't have already. Because people will walk into the hospital and just rob the pharmacies. People already did the same thing to the water systems. People did the same thing.
That was another thing in Michigan, right?
There are fires that are burning people alive only because the laws are not activated.
Right.
There are people dying in the hospitals only because of the negligence of doctors and nurses. Not that they don't know what to do, but they are not doing it because they feel that they cannot be held accountable. These are all things that can be avoided if everybody.
And people were doing their job.
The primary person, the primary people to do the work is the government. The government is responsible to lay the foundation. They lay the bare minimum.
They should have inspectors out there to make sure those things were in place.
Societies can amend them to fit their calling.
Asking why
we are saying that 30 persons have lost their lives. Kids, babies,
negligence,
under 5 years old, they have lost their lives due to an organizer's negligence and due to our government not ensuring that the rule of law for public safety is enforced. So we want them to be able to enforce those laws. It is no personal responsibility. We have elections coming soon and they will be worse. Because if these people don't go to jail, if nobody is questioned, if you do not have the investigation to find out the root cause of this event, where it started from, who was behind it, what is going to be done with the people that were caught, it's going to happen again because it's a it's a criminal activity. It's not going to stop. And we got families living all over. It will happen again. At work and you say your friend, your sister.
It will happen again.
Let somebody rob them and the person
you suing somebody
or bad situation. You don't want that. That's why you ask government. That's why you ask government to put safety and security in place. It is their responsibility.
And enforce it. Follow the people. Go to the inspection. Make sure that that is there. Don't just give them the paper and expect them to do. Yeah, they're supposed to do the work, but you're also supposed to have a quality assurance person out there who's actually following and making sure that it's done. That's what needs to happen. You don't sit there and tell somebody to pray for what? What are you doing? How are we moving forward? What's going to happen? What's going to happen to the Zogos? Where are you going to put them? Just arrest them, lock them up, put them back outside. The next event happens. There are rallies that's coming up. Like you said, it's political season. People will be out there. How many more people will die? How many more? And then we'll just continue like this, right? Outlaw. We just running all over the place that we live in Madagascar.
We can't keep saying that things will be okay or nobody is responsible. You need to put blame. That's why the external societies in the Western world, that's why they develop.
Right.
You have to make sure that people pay for things that they do wrong.
And my problem,
you need to find, even if you don't know the person that did wrong, you need to find them. Even if there's more than one person, you still need to find them and let the public know that this is what we have found. If you have any other information, we will be open for you to bring it, because this is all that we know. You need to get that report to the public. It's your duty as a government to make sure that people have closures. People are mourning their families. You can say that they're not responsible. And the pastor, they're playing basketball on Facebook and doing selfie and those kind of things. How insensitive can you be?
Yeah.
How insensitive can you be? And you sit in there and say, oh no, it's a personal responsibility. You cannot say that. It's people are mourning.
He's just one person.
That's why I let my uncle Pop Kigami, he said, when you want to open church, you should go to school. Because some of them, they don't even understand the Bible with common sense. So the interpretation of the Bible is just absurd. And people are following them. We are in a country where we have a brain drain. The worst thing that can happen to any nation is already on course for us, over 50%. And all we're supposed to be doing that is not arguing about what is supposed to be done and what is not supposed to be done. It's about doing what we know is supposed to be done.
Right.
Following laws, putting laws in place, and making sure that we penalize people when they do things that are wrong.
Enforcement.
But those of us that got smart sense, this is where our focus is supposed to be. Not to be backbiting or going back
all day, they arguing.
We can act like we saw.
It doesn't work that way. Who won't be living in different
It's all about I know more than you do, and we get absolutely nowhere. The funny thing is, we sit in so many meetings all day until nothing's done. I mean, how many meetings do we sit in? How many times we sit now at the drawing board? Why are we still at the drawing board? Why aren't we out there getting it done? Why?
You don't set laws
solution
one time. If you go to any country you go to, laws were set based on specific situation.
Yes.
Even in the UK, the Ofsted laws changed when there was the case of this Ivorian lady who used the candle wax on her child. They changed the laws for child minding. So now the child minders can report if they think a child is not, first it was like, oh, that's the parents' business. But now if you are a child minder, you see the child is not looking well, it's your duty to report that child to the council. Right. Laws change because of situation, and this is what we are asking.
Yeah, but you know what, Mr. Buddy, the thing is, it is in this situation, it is emotional because we've seen over time that Liberians tend to behave like they're allergic to punishment, of holding people accountable. The government is responsible. The government is responsible for poor governance. The government is responsible for negligence. That's what the government is responsible for. And it's emotional because a lot of children got killed. This is not the first time we've seen it. And to have our government come out now and not say, you know what, yes, we did drop the ball. We should be looking at these things a little bit more carefully. But moving forward, we're going to start sensitizing the people that, they need to do this. We're going to start shutting places down that not in compliance with the laws or the codes, the policies or whatever. We don't see that with the government because a lot of, we sit back and we say, oh, the church is doing it. So if the church doing it, then I mean, the church is responsible for everything. If do we have evidence that the government was negligent?
What are you talking?
What other evidence do we need? I mean, please.
Who's supposed to enforce the permits and stuff that you give to them? Who is supposed to make sure?
Do we need? Did the government come out and say, you know
this is a waste of
we
time.
told these people not to hold this event? But no, but again, that this is why we continue to.
There are a lot of places that the government could have said their stuff. The government could have said we did not permit.
People advertise their event.
The government could say these people did not come to us to inform us. There are ways that the government can vindicate themselves if they were doing what they
The first thing you do, if you didn't know
government
about it,
you call the church to ask the church who authorized them to use the place. The school will be, if they rented from the school, they will call the school as well to ask the school what are the rules for people using your premise when they have public events, because they are also a part of the solution.
Exactly.
The school, when you hosted something somewhere, you know that you stay in UK, when you host something somewhere, the people tell you, we're not responsible for security, we're not responsible for this. You need to bring this.
They had a permit. They had a permit. They had a permit.
You also call the school in, and the school is a government school. You need to call the school and the principal for that school or whoever heads the renting of the space to find out what rules were given to the organizers of the event. There is a chain of action that can be done to make sure that this situation never ever repeats itself. You're going to be having mass conferences and mass crusades all over the country. They do the Shiloh. They do the Ramadan is going to come where people are still on the streets praying. You're going to have so many gatherings. Are you trying to tell me that we shouldn't do anything about it because it is okay?
Yeah,
how wait. You feel if you go Liberia,
so I'm reading some of the stuff here that Monique is posting that they had a permit. That one, if it happened after a football game, would you all be having this conversation? Honestly, yes, we will be having this conversation. We talk about what happened when the children in the Muslim homes got burned. So we do talk about these type of situations. And that's why when we start talking about the government being negligent, that they don't tend to put anything in place when these situations happen, that's why they are brought into this conversation, because we do know that this has happened many times. And when we're talking about the church, whether we getting the information or not, this is the information that came out based on the journalists who put it out there and based on the press release that came from the actual church. This is why we're having this conversation. And what we are saying is this: you have a gathering. You have a gathering. A lot of us have lived outside of Liberia, where we know when you go into a certain place, there are a certain number, that's occupancy standards. The occupancy standards for certain places. And if you know this space is supposed to fit 50 persons, and there's 1,000 persons in there, there's 1,000 persons, do they know all of the exit? Do they know that, you know what, if something should happen, they should be running left, they should be running right, they should be doing anything? So when people say to get the information, these are the information that come out. Would love to hear from the pastor, would love to hear his side. When they said they arrested the pastor in the beginning, my first thought was, why are they arresting him? Why are they going directly to him? There are plenty of blame to go around. And now you're telling us he had a permit. So again, we go back to the government. Why are they focused only on the pastor? Yeah, the pastor, you should question the pastor as to the same question that I'm asking.
What is the content of the permit?
Want to know. Yeah. Okay. And then two, what exactly was this permit?
What is the permit about?
What was specific about this permit? That's number two.
Monique is also saying they had security. Listen, they had security.
Not arrest. I'm using the wrong word. They question him. They call him in for questioning. When people writing their stories, how they can write it. Unfortunately, for some of us, we have to go to CNN to read the story properly to be able to use the right word.
She said they didn't arrest the pastor.
That's what I'm saying.
So she's giving us information.
Yeah. So all of these things, we're not saying that, you know what, you grab the pastor, but there's also when you see the pastor playing football, when you see the pastor playing basketball game. I mean, I saw the picture. Initially, I didn't think the picture was something recent, but it might be recent. So when somebody
even post it, even if it's not recent.
When people see that, I saw one picture of one little boy that I saw. I saw a picture of one little boy, a friend of mine, student. And that took me off the edge. I was like, come on, man. Yeah. You had children to this place. And now I'm learning that you had 11 children who actually died in this thing. We all know why they're questioning for me, I know why they're questioning the pastor.
Let me Monique.
They are only
right about the what's the single born in the Astro War situation. Who's in fire in America now? Since you guys are closer to America, what's the boy's name?
Which one? The other one.
Kylie's boyfriend.
The thing in Houston.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yes. Who is under fire now with the government for the situation at the Astro War concert? It's the organizers. The organizers are under fire because There were rules laid out in the permit. There
they
were
forget.
conditions in the permit that the government feel the organizers did not adhere to. That's why they are blamed.
Yeah.
So we need to stop doing all these things. We need to find, even if we don't know all the answers, we need to find out where we can get the appropriate answers from so that these things don't happen again. I'm very sure this church is planning a couple of crusades down the line. Same as other churches, they are going to invite in external pastors and bishops, and they will be throwing miracle here and there. These things can happen again. They can always happen.
They need to enforce. The enforcement, enforcement mechanism needs
and make
to be,
sure that you stop it.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to do their job.
Yeah.
Basically,
One is
when those permits go out, they need to go out and make sure these things are done. The government, the city is supposed to make sure that
this will happen again when you go to
and then the Zogos,
the ATS, the entrance into ATS. I don't know if y'all noticed, they put the gates, they put like barriers, and so it's like a narrow gate, it's like a jail. You literally walking through a narrow jail with bars going in. And
so money, I'm sorry.
I went there one time, I saw that thing, I never went back.
I'm sorry, ladies. What Monique is saying is that this event, like I stated when we first started, that this happened after they were done. After they left, people, the whole crusade was finished. Yes, like I stated when we first started, what I heard.
But everybody was outside of the
was that this was after. This is why when we initially started, I said, well, there are different pieces that this thing happened after the crusade was over and people were leaving. And there was then these people, and that's why I asked you, Klade, when you said people were planted in, I said, so you're saying that this is premeditated?
That's what I got. That's what we saw.
So she's confirming that this happened. This did not happen during the crusade. So you see what I'm saying? So now,
after 3 days, this will go under the rug again, unfortunately, and that will be the end of it. There will be no investigation as to what happened. We will depend on
there should be
people, the people who, here said, this said, that said. Nobody will.
Fidel said we shouldn't sue the government. So what should
we suing the government?
What should we do?
This is, you know, but then you just had a bunch of lawless people running after other citizens.
Well,
but this is what you're saying. So what happened here?
Okay, then, so what they're saying, leave it alone. It happened after, and let's not talk about it. Let's just leave it. People died, and that's it.
Okay, so that means we shouldn't go to any program because after the program, whatever happened, nobody is responsible. So that means when we enter a program, after the program, we should
this is where the police
jet into the air and lay on top of our houses
to make sure people leave safely.
Understood.
You know.
So so again, that's what I'm saying. By next week, unfortunately, something else will happen, and we will forget all of this because we shouldn't bother ourselves about this. Investigation happening, we know our government, we know our police. This is not the first, and this is what I'm saying. This is not the first case. If this was the first time we knew about this and they were investigating, then we can say, oh, you know what? Let the people investigate. We know our government. Next week, ain't nothing gonna come out of this. And that would be the end of it. It would just be the end of it. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, that's what will happen.
And this should be worrying to everybody. The fact that nothing is going to be done. The fact that nothing is done.
They're investigating. We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
If you advocate for laws and enforcement, there are laws. When we advocate for enforcement, it becomes you're emotional. It becomes, or it's personal. That what it becomes. So therefore, I always say Liberians, we act like we're allergic to punishing people. We are allergic to holding people accountable. Because
we hope the investigation goes on and a proper reprimand is done. A proper one.
I literally gave up when the government decided to say we should pray about it. And that was the end of that. Yeah, we should pray about it. So
the government say you should pray. Did the government say that they were doing investigation? Why is money up in her sleeves? The government asked us to moon and pray.
The government asked us to moon. So maybe when the government called the pastor in their private meeting, when the government called the pastor, so
even if they are doing investigation,
maybe they told them that they were investigating. The government has not communicated that to the citizens. They haven't communicated that to us. They told us to pray. That's what they told us to do. They told us to pray. This very story, I read the Liberian newspaper and couldn't really even understand what the hell was going on. You remember, I had to go to CNN and read the story there to understand the story from, that perspective. So again, we are basing our conversation on 1, the government statement, the local newspaper, and 3, the press release from the church. That's what we're basing our conversation on. And yes, it is emotional. It's
due to the lack of
personal, I
knowledge.
guess.
Since it's church business, they say due to the lack of knowledge, my people perish. So I would just hope that everybody tries.
Our churches, no church should be immune from public safety,
and make sure that they are not repeated. That's all.
I look at the thing. I'm like, again, ATS. I went to ATS when I saw they had changed the entrance to that one leg hole.
It is so stiff. It's not even.
I never went back again. Every time I see that thing, when I drive past that place, my skin crawl. So we're not. It's not. Nobody is speaking on this one church and this one pastor. We're talking about things that happens in Liberia, and the reason why it continued to happen is because we just, you know what? Nobody is responsible. So, Mr. Buddy, the church not responsible, the government not responsible. Fortunately, for what you're saying, that there's no basis for suing the government, people wouldn't sue because what it means is you need a bunch of people to have a class action lawsuit, and it must be in the lawsuit, and it won't happen. So we will wait until the next tragedy that happens, and then we'll come in, we'll talk about it again, because that's what we do best. We talk. Yeah, Liberians, we talk. But when it comes to holding people accountable for anything, it becomes very personal, it becomes very emotional, and then we act like we got some allergic reaction to accountability. So I can guarantee you, Mr. Buddy, we will be back here, unfortunately, for another tragedy. Watch. This thing is
man.
Yeah, watch.
We pray that don't happen. I mean, yeah.
It will happen if you don't. If you put preventive measure in place.
Exactly, and that is what they're supposed to be doing now. That's what they should have done in the first place.
And they're not going to help. God not coming down to help nobody who can help themselves.
You're right.
So and we can pray or we won't pray. He's not coming down. He didn't come down yesterday. He didn't come down when they were putting the slaves on the ship. He ain't come down when the building's been burning and children inside. He will only, you have to help yourself.
You're right.
Pray for guidance. They give you a mind to think, and you have to put preventive measures.
It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate.
And unfortunately for our country, we won't.
And some people are still in the hospital.
Okay.
Considering that the hospital don't even have supplies.
Oh, okay.
There's no supplies in the hospital.
No, that leave everybody tomorrow. Another
business, yeah.
So yeah, we'll continue to pray. So of course,
I'm loving business.
Well, I just hope that, like I always say, there's so many mistakes, and we need to do better. We need to step up to the plate.
But my thing is, we keep saying that there's so many mistakes.
And we always say that, and it's only going to get worse.
We said there's so many mistakes and there's so many things we can learn from it, right? That's what we see. Yeah. Who are making the mistake? That it breeze?
No,
it has to be someone. So when you call one person and the other person said no, then I you call the other group and said no, then I then who the one? That the devil? The devil came and blew a mistake into their situation. We know mistakes were made. We're talking about who made the mistakes and who should be held accountable and how they should be held accountable to prevent the mistakes from happening again. Yeah.
Right. So it's everybody.
It's not personal. I know none of these people from nowhere. But in a way, you know, I guess that's why some people get more attached when their family is involved. My family not involved. They can say, you know what? I got no fish to fry in there. However, indirectly, all pass around Liberia. We all walk around Liberia. We all attend public events that are hosted by private individuals. And these locals, again, you hold me accountable if I see another opportunity.
And they already know everybody.
Finish. So you're right. Let's talk about our loving business in the next 30 minutes.
The Zogos know who loving the who.
Ma, let me tell you. Somebody was driving.
You're gonna tell that story.
No, I call no need. They were driving, and you know the guy that sits in the wheelchair at Famuma. He always
still there.
Very rude. A rude.
Are we there?
The man banking on the car. The person sitting in the car. The person smoking. You know, on their phone. They banking. The man asking for money. The person ain't want to turn to the man. The man finally said that your business, that why your boyfriend is loving to XYZ. All the conversation stopped, the cigarette dropped back here when they jump out the car and I said, but why you mad at me? Because you know that true.
Oh yeah, they know everything.
Everything.
They know everything. But baby, the other girl I found, the other one, that one living Orochi. Well, you ask that friend, what that other girl need? That break.
I know, Matu surprised me one day. Actually, I don't even know who she's discussed this. Matu was somewhere moving around, and she was with somebody, and talk about the person told her, say, yeah.
I'm sorry, you want to tell you?
No way, brother. You said I was shocked. I'm like, what are you talking about, Matu? Say, yeah, but other place there, you can't sort with that woman that was a big truck. I said,
oh no, I tell you, you say, hey, big sis, how you the other boy? You say, hey, big sis, how you doing? I decided to ask him. I said, where you know me from? He said, no, you don't want to use a kind with such. I said, you know what? I wrong you. How you doing? You all right?
The people can be watching you. It is very scary. Now he told Matu that about I living in there, and I was like, what?
A lot, and that's why it's a serious.
I don't even know who she was talking to.
Yeah. That's a serious security concern.
Yes, because they're watching. They're watching you. Oh my God! When Matu told me that, I was like, what?
Yeah. But okay, so our for the next 30 minutes, we're talking about how to navigate the dating scene in 2022. So like, what exactly is dating? It's online dating, a yay, a nay. Excuse me. And one of the questions I was having this conversation with a friend of mine is that, what do you do if you meet someone you're compatible with, but you're already dating someone else? You know, what do you do? And is there any tips for like dating in this new era? And I'm stressing the new era because we want no tips from 1970 something or 1960 something. We're talking about we're talking about nah in this time frame, in this generation X and generation Y and the millennium. Yeah, I get time for the millennium, but generation Xers and I'm a generation Xer, so generation Xer, generation Y. So yeah, is it just Liberia dating or the diaspora too? Yeah, anywhere Liberia or diaspora, but within the Liberian context, the Liberian community. So what is the Liberian diaspora community, or what is Liberian dating in Liberia? And let me say that dating in Liberia is very different. Very, very different. So when we talk about dating, I guess the first thing is to define what we consider dating, right? You're why everybody looking at you? I mean, you gotta get acting like
you spot interest in someone, and there is something that interests. I mean, there is something that attracted you initially. to someone.
We don't use the word dating.
You decided to get to know that person a little bit more. That's what I would think, you know, and then you go out. So now this special interest includes moments where you're having dinner or you're you're spending quality time together. That's what I would.
So let me I was trying to find a legal definition of what dating is. So they're saying that dating so dating is the stage of romantic relationships whereby two people meet socially with the aim of each assessing the other's suitability as a prospective partner in a future intimate relationship. So we need a library definition.
We got this.
What is the librarian definition? I love it.
We get
loving
we get seeing each other. We get dating, dating are for the
legally loving, seeing each other.
Or talking to her. Talking to her. Maybe we would say talking to her is dating.
We talking.
Yeah, chasing again. You know, maybe that's what is.
No, but you chasing you.
That can't be dating because it's a situation where you're expressing your interest in someone.
So dating is like a sport. It's courting someone. It's courtship.
Yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, it's courting.
Yeah. So it's only the church I know that will probably use dating in an appropriate way, where you basically use courting, where you and the person are allowed to spend time together to get to know them and find out if you want to proceed intimate relationship with them. But regularly, dating is not used in Liberia. You either loving, sneaking, sleeping, or
I want that creepy.
TP creepy.
Okay, so now I know a lot of Africans in a way, they kind of frown on online dating. Yeah, so is that a yay or online? Yeah, where you go online, you actually meet somebody. And let me tell you, honestly, for me, I'm not opposed to it, and I'm married.
But don't they do background checks?
You don't give how to do background check? Do you give like your social security number, your
the people that because I would think if you're going through their onto their site or within their club, they would want people who are credible and not people who in the end they would get in trouble for. I haven't been on the dating site, so I wouldn't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't think they do any kind of serious background check. Yeah, I really don't. I think they may know how to find you if something happened. They can trace your
friends.
But you ain't at that.
No, Auntie, so because you could be actually involved with a murder.
Well, I mean, a way
they always
they will trace you,
which is not ruled out. Some people get catfished. Some people find themselves in really, really difficult, peculiar situations.
Right?
Because the thing is, it's a computer. It's not like you're having a distance relationship where you actually know this person, you've been with them, and then you are separated, so you are doing it online. It's different.
Yeah.
But someone you've never met before, there's so many wrong possibilities. I mean, sometimes they do have fairy tales, but the bad side of it is almost 50-50.
Yeah.
But these people do meet up. They do meet up in the end, don't they?
Yeah, but I think some of the more popular dating sites like eHarmony, you see that on TV.
You know some of the sites?
No, it can be on TV.
Yeah,
commercial. By the time you turn around, so that's like 2 or 3.
Are they still around? They got Christian dating.
I knew about Match.com, but I think that was forever ago.
No,
they have Christian dating.
But what they do, I think you have to give your credit card information, and I think
something got to tell you.
Yeah, but I don't think they do any kind of background check, man. Yeah, because you can have great credit score, but you might be a wife beater. So I don't think
most times those people I don't know.
Yeah. So I wouldn't think a dating company would want to put themselves out there that they have done the background check and they're giving you this good clean
Well,
person.
I think maybe they do have
a question here
that's high, that's very high quality, that would do background checks and stuff.
Yeah, you can do that. And you heard it, girl. What the other one that was on a girl that was killed recently, and of course they went to arrest the online person that she met. So again, when we start talking about holding people accountable, the dating sites, they will have questionnaires there that will ask you questions because they don't want to be held accountable if something should happen. Because if they do a background check and they say, oh yeah, we did a background check and the guy came back clean can mean plenty of things. And something happened, you can sue the company. You can actually sue the company. So you tend to want to stay away from saying that you not look up this guy and he look okay. All you have to do is
but the thing is,
sign things.
When it comes to criminal record, it might be private, it might be secure.
Exactly.
So you might not have these online accounts being able to tell you if this person is a serial wife beater, or if they had been involved in a murder case before, or a molestation case before, or if they are a kleptomaniac, or if they have any kind of trait that is going to be disturbing for you, your family. If they are, how you call these people that just be behind people, stalkers,
that's another thing. People you can get sued for that one.
There are a lot of different things. And I think most times if people decide to go into the online relationship is because they know someone who personally
I would hope so, because the online thing, the old school thing about somebody know the other person, just some sort of it's a relief than having to be on screen with.
Because I mean, if that's something you would find more Liberian doing, or will they be kind of hiding it?
No, they're more. I think they're more open to somebody.
I know some people have met online and have gotten married off Hi-Fi or
Liberian people.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. I know some people that have met online. Yeah. But it's even though they met online, but they still knew people that actually knew, the person from either side. So it'll be like, okay, I met John online.
Like social media, you mean, or actual
social media, not dating site, but just social media.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It would be interesting to see the people.
No, there's too many weirdos. I mean,
but it'd be interesting to see the numbers of the people on the ground.
I'm mostly concerned about the internet, the technology, and all that. You're chatting with this person, you're like, oh, I live alone. And I'm out.
Why do you live alone?
I mean, these people, you don't know if they are nerds or geeks or whatever. They have your IP, they could hack your system, get your IP address. And some of the apps, I know they do location, 3 miles, 5 miles, and all those things. I don't know who the person is. Why would I be so comfortable with, because every time you get on the app, I think your location is activated.
What?
Yeah, your location is activated. So there was a case I think I read a few days ago about a girl who a college girl who met a guy who's some sort of engineer, and they went on date, but she had invited him to her house and they were drinking shots, and she died, and he called the police because she had blood seeping on her mouth. And when they found him, he told them that, they were just drinking shots and nothing happened. But then her brother was insisting that there were condoms in the room, and, he feel that there's a foul play. But I mean, the first thing, why would you even invite someone to your house, even if you've talked to them for 1,000 years? There's too many things to consider, for your own safety, the person's mental stability. You don't even know if they are tracking you, how they manage, because with the algorithms and with those hacking, internet and all those things, those IT people, there are so many ways that they can find you and just get into your computer and start chatting with you. So for me, it's a no.
Yeah, but I'm not for me, I'm not a fan of, hey, if it's working for other people, the dating sites, hey, power to you. But I'm not a fan of, I don't like blind dates. That's number one. So I definitely don't, yeah, I like blind dates.
You don't want the peanuts?
Yeah, I've had one bad experience and I was like, I ain't never doing it again. I literally left the guy in the restaurant. But I like to know someone who knows the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm old fashioned like that.
So that whole
I need recommendation.
who your pa, who your sister, who your this.
I even need to know your ex if possible.
Yeah, I gotta know. I gotta know something. Yeah, because you can't keep making go in vain.
Yeah, no, people have been mentally disturbed from their past relationship, you know. There are things to consider. You know what you want for your life, you know what you want for your relationship, but you don't know what this other person has been through. You don't know if you're a rebound. You don't know if this person is just trying to get back to you, you know.
And don't get me wrong.
A few weeks ago, I actually had a situation with one of my big brother. He's 56, and he had dated this girl in Ivory Coast during the war, and she, you know, moved over to Canada. And they are not talking again, but then he saw another girl who he started talking to, just to find out, just to realize that this new girl and the girl he had dated are actually sisters. Just out of the blue, weird situation. But both of them had not mentioned his name before. He was talking about a specific event. Yeah. And then the older sister was like, oh, you know, my sister used to be at that event. And then he realized that, yeah. So there are a lot of things that don't come out, you know, if you know people, and then if you don't know them, it's just a whole abyss of surprises that you won't be able to, especially if you have families or if you're dating and you have kids. You have to be very careful with, you know, how you get out there.
Yeah.
I prefer you going to a funeral crying scene or guy looking at his shoes, checking him out, talking to him a few times, and then you can start to date if you want to. Then they'll find somebody behind a computer who probably stays so far away or being tracking you, you just have no idea.
Yeah. For me, I'm not a big fan of it. I'd like, even though I wouldn't go and be asking somebody, oh, what about this person? What about this person? I wouldn't, yeah, but I like, it's a certain comfort in knowing that I know John, that you know, or I know Peter, or I know your cousin, or I know somebody. There's a certain comfort level.
And if there's any emergency, there will be someone that you can get in touch with.
Yeah. And you do anything to me, it won't go in vain, it'll find you quick. Don't be all in my computer looking for who I've been talking to the next time so they can see all my business. No. They will say, oh, that John cousin, that part, they will go grab him. So yeah. So
but even with the online relationships, you're going to end up being in a relationship where the trust will be limited when you have access to your telephone or stuff, because this person is thinking, oh, this is how she met me.
But you realize getting people around you.
No, Klade, that's
checking again. Yeah. When you smile with your phone, that oh, that had used to be smiling with me when we were chatting. Oh. Like,
Okay, so that's a question. What about long distance relationship?
Long distance, it depends.
You got passport, you got money to buy ticket, no problem.
Long distance can work, or it can be sweet sometimes.
You got passport, you got ticket money, no problem. No problem. But how long is the distance?
America, Liberia distance?
My thing with Liberia is not the distance, it's the environment. Yeah, so that other distance that the environment.
You can't elaborate.
Yeah. But if you, yeah, I mean, I'm open to long distance relationship. Yeah, that's not a.
Depends.
Yeah, Liberia.
It's conditional, you know. It's conditional.
I tell you, Liberia, another distance. That's the land, that the environment.
Why the environment?
Okay, so now
You
this
hold yourself liable for being approached, eh?
the environment for big people, grown people.
No, but long distance relationship can work. I've had long distance relationship for a long time. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
I
The
do.
only thing is communication, and in every relationship is trust. Obviously, people got their own ways, but you have to be able to communicate. If you one person that will always be calling other people to find out what John Brown doing, being his part of the world, then
That's called insecurity.
you should have your own focus. So if you have your own focus, that's okay. If the person tell you, say, oh, today I'm going to the basketball game, clear your mind and focus your mind on that this person is going to the basketball game. If you're like, who you going to the game with? Where are you going to there? How long you left the game? Accept pressure. And in this life, we live once. You don't get yourself pressure. Like, you have to trust people if you want them to trust you with long distance relationships. So I think it works if you both have sat down and discussed it and decided that this is what we would tolerate, this is what we would not tolerate, this is how we wanted to go, this is how often we would talk, this is how often we would see. You know, there are a lot of things that you have to bring to the table. You can't swallow it and be like, okay, as we go along, I will see what happens, because everybody's not the same. Some people will tolerate not talking to their partner for a week, 2 weeks. They're just saying, hey, hi. Some people want to talk to you 500 times a day. They even want you to put the phone on video and put it on mute while they're in meeting.
Hey,
so, yeah.
So, really?
Okay, so this question, let's get to this question. If you say you're dating somebody and then you meet somebody that you realize that you're more compatible with, what happens?
And you let the other person know. You have to be truthful.
Let them know what, that you leaving there?
Yes, why not? But why would you sit there?
How
tell him you met somebody else that, no, it's honest, to be honest, tell him you met somebody else. That's the mature thing to do. And that's the most honest thing to do. Because like you said, honesty and trust and communication means a lot. So you meet somebody else that you really like, just let it say, you know what? I like you, but
not so much you like the person, you're compatible with them.
How do you know?
And how sure? How long were you? How
do you know you're
was it the first encounter?
How much time have you spent with them?
Oh, so it depends on time?
But because I have to start questioning you now.
No, but let's say you've been dating the other person here for a year. You go somewhere and for a weekend and you met this person.
So that attraction,
y'all are compatible. I'm using the word compatible. You're attracted to them, yeah. You're attracted to both of them. But this person, you just realize that the two of you.
Yeah. So that just a weekend, Matu.
That's how you know them, but you realize that you're compatible with them. Compatibility, it doesn't necessarily.
All right, so then you're not dating the person immediately. Then you're just getting to know them to get to that stage where you date them.
So you'll continue dating the other person until you realize that this.
Of course, because you still gotta get to know that person. Yeah. The ins and outs of what's going on.
Get them both until you figure it out.
Right, but you can't just say, "Oh, I just after one weekend." You say, "Oh yeah, well, no, you can't." That wouldn't be.
The thing is,
I agree with
what you find someone else you're more compatible with, unless there's already a break in your current relationship. Because if there's no break in your current relationship, you will not be looking for anything. There's nothing that would be interesting to you to want to put you to that place where you want to know if someone else is compatible with you. Even if the people, if someone is throwing out conversations at you and you know the person want you, if you have a good relationship and you are a place where you are at peace in your relationship, you won't even be bothered. You won't focus on it. So you won't even know if the person is compatible with you or not. So if you have the time and energy to know that you're compatible with someone else, that means fire is already in Soweto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you're dating and you're engaged or married, that's two different things, because then you know you only.
Oh yeah, no, we ain't talking about the married thing, because you marry you yeah.
No, but what I'm saying that with what Klade is saying right now is that if you were dating somebody, it's okay. Let me just understand this. Matu said that if you're dating someone and you meet somebody else that you're compatible with, do you tell that person, or you just see the both of them? You're saying You're saying if you're comfortable where you are,
you wouldn't be compatible.
You wouldn't be that way. But what if you actually lost out on that person you were compatible with because you dating a person and you're just dating? So you see, it's just best to, like I said, Matu said weekend. Now, if she said, well, you know what, it was for a little bit, and then you can decide.
No. Okay, let me specify it. Because for me, being compatible with somebody necessarily doesn't have anything to do with the timing. With time. Okay, you can be with someone because you'll get along. Maybe there's some kind of physical attraction that's there. They're available. And you've been seeing this person for 6 months, right? And then you meet somebody else where you're realizing that your goals are the same. You want the same thing. Maybe the other person, you may not have necessarily want all the same things, but you do get along. You're friendly to each other. You enjoy spending time with each other. But he want to live in UK, you want to live in Timbuktu. Versus you meet somebody where the person is just like, you know what? Yeah, I love I love Timbuktu. I like the weather in there. Everything seems to be on. You want 2 kids, they want 2 kids, 2 children. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know how to.
But that's why I say.
But I think that goes back to my definition of dating. If you are dating somebody, you're courting. So like what Eddie said, you date both of them. And I think in our society, we're very flickery that it's like, oh no, you can't date the 2 person. Why not?
Well, you can date as many people as
you can date. Yeah, thank you.
Courting field. You're not limiting yourself.
If the one was right, put a ring on it.
There you go.
You can even date someone that is legally loving to a girlfriend of 20 years. They're not married. Yeah, you can still date. Dating is permissible.
Yeah. So I say,
I'm saying for you to want to be compatible, or for you to find out that you're compatible with someone else, that means there's already a dent.
You only just looking for a problem in a relationship.
In your relationship, yeah. Because if there's no dent in your relationship, you will not ask those questions. You will not be interested in those things.
But my thing is, if there were no dent or there were no problem in the relationship, y'all would be married. So the fact that you're dating this person, you haven't really decided, or he hasn't really decided that he wants.
Oh, then how long you putting on the marriage business? That's another question.
What? Okay. How long do you? To be honest with you.
There is no length of time.
Who be engaged for 9 years?
Somebody told me.
Yeah, but if you know you're going on 9 years and it's 2-year relationship, then you end it. It takes one person to end.
But that's what we're saying. What's the time? What would be a time? Time limit? How long do you?
You cannot tell somebody how long they can be somewhere to get married. So it's an individual thing. If you want to be there for
man,
what do you think is the most acceptable time?
For me, it's basically it depends on the woman.
What's your time limit?
I strongly think it depends on the woman, because you know at the point at your stage what you want. If you know what you want, you're going to ask for it. Most times men have cold feet when it comes to marriage and stuff. So if you're a woman and you know that, like, look, this is the guy I like, I've spent this much time with him, and I don't really see myself going anywhere else. I think we can make a good life together. And I think, he has a lot of the qualities I want. You put him to the fire, tell him, say, Lord, I can marry.
I said 9 years.
Except you want a fairy tale wedding and all those things.
I said between 3 months and 6 months.
But then that's you. That's fine.
Yeah,
that works for
3 months and 6 months.
A lot of people
you need to start dating somebody else. Period. The end. I finish.
There you go. Time.
Yeah. And you 3 months. Because number one, you wanted 1 year to complain wedding.
But that's the good thing. You see, Eddie, if you tell the man, say, okay, this is what I want us to do, and the man is not on that level, then obviously you're wasting your time.
Exactly.
I feel that the earlier is the better, because then you're not going to settle in and waste your time and all your titty coming be slipper now.
Hey, stop.
Then when you finish, then you go get one young one.
So like you have to ask if you feel that you've reached that place with the person where this is the person that you want to be with. I think you should bring the conversation up. I think you should bring it up. It's a yes or no stuff, but it also makes it easier for you to, decide what to do. I think the problem with our Liberian community or most of the African community is because a lot of the women are dependent on the man or on the boyfriend for their survival. So you're more in the place of what's going to become of me. Everybody know we dating, and if we break up, they will be laughing at me. You're thinking about all those things that actually don't matter. Right. They're thinking about things that are supposed to put you first. So that way it's difficult for you to make a decision. So you'll be there, you could get abused, you could be ignored. The guy go, oh, he not coming home, he chilling, he got his friend, he got one whole other life outside of you, and you just there bearing it because somebody told you should go to the prophet church and they dream that you will get married in the future. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different situations, but there's no time,
No, I mean, yeah, everybody has their own situation. Everybody know, because again, and then it comes with age. I think at a certain age, you can tolerate a lot of things. At another age, your tolerance for waiting, and it seems to disappear.
Somebody's talking about investment. Now, what do we consider investment in a relationship?
The time. You're freaking, and that's why I go back to the time again. You're not investing time for 5 years. Yeah.
Then you just go to work, then you go to therapy,
No, God, then you spend more investment money on therapy. You invest some more in therapy again behind this one.
No. I'm not saying with the person. I'm talking about yourself. At this
but I'm not saying then you got to take money again and go.
Therapy.
I honestly think that between 6 to 8 months, I think you already know.
So, yeah.
This is the person that you want to be with.
After 90 days.
The rest of the time,
he knows if he want you or not.
Yes. Enjoying that time.
You want to be there or not. Yeah. After 90 days.
Mr. Buddy, no. Thank you. 5 years plenty. We're talking some other stuff for experience. Yeah.
But sometimes everything else is all good, and sometimes everything else is all good, and then you just don't want to just leave the goodness.
But sometimes you need to leave the goodness because you probably have better things.
Most times people don't want to leave the goodness.
But the goodness,
yeah.
So would that actually keep somebody in?
Right.
Yes, they can get abused for that. Oh yeah.
The mind is a very weak thing. A
lot of people.
Yes. I agree. 6 months. I said 90 days to 6 months, but 6 months to 1 year, yeah. That's enough time to decide that if you want to spend time with this person. I'm sorry. A lot of us, we waste too much time. We can waste time. Yeah. plenty of time we can waste it.
They're comfortable.
Find out what problem. Yeah. So my advice to any young
I just think people just don't reach the stage where they know what they want. So they're still figuring it out.
Oh no, when you reach the stage where you
reach the stage where you know what you want, you can basically tell from the get-go where that is going.
Yeah.
And that's what ladies should strive for, like understanding yourself, understanding what you can tolerate. What, like me, I know I can't tolerate any man leaving toothpaste thing on my mirror. Like we will not even go from here there. So yeah. So I already know that one. So going to a relationship, brushing your teeth, like going for a championship, and then you don't get I know we're not going nowhere. Yeah. So,
oh God.
Those things, like, so you already know what it is. So it's easy for you to make the decisions. If you don't know what it is, and if you're financially dependent on the person, or you like that good, it's going to be hard for you to make decisions on time. And then you end up spending 20 years in the same place because of reasons best known to you. And if it is a situation where you want to have kids and the person don't want to have kids, there is even more of a burden on you because that person will be doing as much as they can not to get you pregnant. And you there doing as much as you can to get pregnant. Yeah, and then the years are just going by and nothing comes out of it.
So do you, I have a question. So do you think it's safe to say that when you first started seeing someone, it's better to put everything on the table?
Yes.
Because then that way you can just leave.
Yes, you got to ask them if they like taking bath 2 times a day. You got to ask them if they like to brush their teeth, if they like their friends visiting them, whatever it is. Like when it comes to family, now in our African settings, we have problems with mother-in-law and sister-in-law and all those. Like, if this is somebody that you see in your heart after your dating conversations and stuff, and you say like, this person, I think I want to date this person, you got to shoot all those questions, don't leave nothing beyond. If you can even start writing it ahead of time, saying keeping it for in future, it's best to do so, because you don't want to be disappointed later on. You don't want to say somebody wasted your time. Yes, we'll take it back and farting. Those are important things.
So they're very important. That's the comfort.
So if I'm dating someone, you got to be willing to accept that. If you can't accept that and you think it's nasty, then we're not going anywhere. So,
you're right in the bed.
No, it's true. Some people have issues with different things. You know, some people have issues with different things. So
that's
you have
human.
My pet peeve is when they leave the toilet seat up.
I really mind the toilet seat.
You imagine in the middle of the night, somebody not leave toilet seat, or you going to? Oh my God!
It's cold.
It's
I
like
really mind toilet seat though. I mind the mirror.
Down. Put the seat down, and then why can't they eat in the toilet? Why is it so hard? I mean, what is it? Are you shooting basketball?
Can you be doing this since you are born?
Yeah.
You want to hear my you want to hear my problem?
Yeah, man.
Hey, yo, funny, Klade just talked about, you want to hear my problem? If you got to pass gas, go in the bathroom.
Like, seriously, then we can sit down together.
I'm very serious. I just, and I don't know, it's my upbringing. My grandmother, may her soul rest in peace. But my grandmother there were so many things. I would sit down as a child. If I sat down, okay, I had to close my legs. Never should my legs be just a teeny bit apart. That's not appropriate. When I go outside, when I was single, if I go outside, she said, "You're taking the trash." She said, "You need to dress," because you don't know who you would meet out there. You know, these little things.
Oh yeah.
Then men passing gas. She's like, it's appropriate for a man to go inside.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's nasty. And
she's like, that's very nasty. She said he needs to go to the.
If you let me tell you, if you have a partner and you can fart freely, then you know that you're on the way.
Yeah, that can happen. I know you have a
conversation, they put it down and then just continue.
Don't do it in front of me. It makes me, I become nauseous. I
feel like if I eat it and you do it, I feel like
I just gave up. I become nauseous, literally nauseous. And it just, it makes me sick. I'm sorry, but
that's part of me.
That's how I was.
I can stand people toothbrush and splash on a mirror. I just can't stand. Even if I go to somebody's house and I see it, I kind of OCD try to move it from there.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Oh
man, this was great conversation. I don't know if we should.
I mean, online dating for me is no. And then, you know, you must be in a place where you're not happy to consider you having compatibility with someone else. But if you just dating for dating sake, I'm all for you shooting your shot, you know. Have 10 dates and let all of them know that you're going on dates with the other person, and may the best man win. Yeah. But it's dating though, and not loving.
That's two different things.
It's different thing. Dating, not loving you. Dating, you're just talking, you're not kissing, you're not doing all those different things.
For real?
But how can Matu be dating somebody for a whole year?
Maybe I don't know.
How? without doing all of that.
I got different definitions of you. My own dating includes, it may or may not include all of that.
You're not loving.
Right.
Yeah, you loving. You see each other. Yeah. You see each other. And if I put that law down that we might not see anybody else, we're exclusive. I mean, we might not see anybody else, we're exclusive.
Yeah, and y'all can do that.
If I put a law down, you want to see somebody, I don't get vexed. So come here, I can pay there. Put that can leave on me.
Yeah, what somebody say?
Don't hang your drawers in the.
Somebody said don't hang your drawers in it. I must say I don't like that.
Yeah, that's like, just bad.
Come over to spend time. I just see them like because of that. Honestly, because of that, I don't like shower curtains in my bathroom.
But why would you put that in your bathroom like that? I mean,
don't
nowadays
like
you have
Hey,
laundry room.
isn't in my
sit them
bathroom?
down.
Where I'm supposed to hang it?
But you have a laundry room, Matu, really?
Yes, I put
Hang
it
it in your room.
Hang it in
In
my
your
room.
closet.
Especially if your
But now you got
bathroom is
washing
used by
machine or
guests.
washing machine.
Yeah, now we're talking about in-law real. Yeah, no washing machine.
Except especially if your bathroom is used by guests. I mean,
But he like, you're right.
No, my bathroom, yeah, no.
What was it? Well,
The only people who needed to see it will see it. Yeah. Because I don't like
just cut it short
sharing.
and they just do it all in. So
Yeah, I don't like sharing, bathroom to be so and then when people come, their shoes in the bathroom. Yeah, it just let not bring the germs from outside right into the bathroom.
you see that somebody stuck onto your waist.
Yeah, but
Really?
that's my own thing. So
And then you can grow out of it. And that's the
if
thing.
you dating
There's
me,
certain things I'm accustomed to, and
yeah,
I'm
you
not
gotta,
gonna.
you got.
I'm not gonna. It's not gonna. Why are you? Do not you go in the bathroom and use. That's where you do all of the gassy things that come out of your system. And I even taught my boys that. I said, you don't sit and do that. That's not. And I can't. I don't hear my voice when that happens. I wouldn't even know. And it's surprising me that they're adults now. And this thing that was my grandmother instilling me, I brought it down to my children. I was very surprised. I never know with my children ever.
well, me a dog.
I don't like it, but honestly, I mean, I've had people do it, and the first thing
I mean, we fight free. They're like, mommy, it's smelly. I'm like,
Oh,
oh yeah.
But I just think sometimes when it happens, I'm like, oh my God, it just.
Oh God.
But yeah,
all right, Eddie,
Eddie,
how are
conversation.
you?
What are we saying?
Time.
But I don't think the
Wow.
original intent to date is bad, but it's very
It's a little
necessary
day.
to date a girl
Oh, Eddie.
that is in a version. Look, oh no, we'll have this conversation next week, Mr. Presley. Yeah, so yeah, hold that conversation. Next week, come back here with you and you. Yeah, look at trouble. You were a virgin when you met again.
So that's another story.
The thing we don't want you. We want their version too. But yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Eddie.
Next week we'll continue the conversation. And
we'll share the social topic early.
Yeah. So you can come on. Yeah. You mind Connie not even pay attention to him. Just like you were a virgin when he met again. Let him tell us when he can tell us if he is.
You know that one girl he just for a long time. He just the girl for a long time, and then he figured out that the girl wasn't a virgin. So no, but dating is not supposed to include whether the person is a virgin or not.
Yeah. Next week,
dating is knowing someone, is understanding them, is finding out if you guys are compatible or not. If you want a relationship with them, if you want to start eating something with them, if you want to be intimate with them. That process of dating is getting to know them. So whether the person is a virgin or not, it's really not supposed to be your business. Except you and the person were dating and the person were eating something somewhere else. Then you can get angry.
So Klade, are you going to continue this topic next week?
And left with Matu.
Yeah.
No, because apparently there's a viewer that's actually very interested in continuing this.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Why do you want a virgin there? You mind? Yeah, Jella here said you are a virgin, Joseph.
Come next week, we will find out.
Yeah, next week, Presley, please. I beg. Come. Yeah. All right, guys. Good night.
We're talking about dating and being virgin.
Bye. I'm going to watch my game.